Cricket balls are red, baseballs are white, American footballs are brown, and tennis balls are yellow. We don't even think about it really, but the story behind the tennis ball is actually quite interesting and even involves Sir David Attenborough. I know, here's the tale. Tennis has its roots in 12th century France when people used to make balls from all sorts. Cork, wool, chalk, animal fur and even human hair. Uniformity was found centuries later when people started making balls out of something called vulcanized rubber, invented in the US. But the balls kept on breaking, so a British lawyer, who also loved tennis, suggested they put a flannel covering on the outside, and thus the tennis ball as we know it was born. One problem, it was either white or black. And when the controller of BBC Two, Sir David Attenborough, decided Wimbledon would be shown in colour on the BBC in 1967, no one could actually see the balls on telly. So the International Tennis Federation went away and created a new colour called Optic Yellow, which would show up without the need for a 4K LED display. Not that anyone had that in the 1960s, of course. Since then, all tennis balls have been covered in that material and have their trademark colour for that exact reason. Amateur tennis players and dogs worldwide are forever grateful. You could say the ITF aced it.
Good evening and welcome to the Final Word. Phoning with me, Majestic, alongside experienced Premier League manager. He's managed Newcastle, West Ham and loads more. And Alan Pardew is in the building. We've just seen a masterclass of football by Manchester City to sweep aside champions Liverpool 3-0 to send them to just within 4 points of the league leaders Arsenal. The Blue Juggernaut is in sixth gear and it's motoring. Gunners, can you hear them beeping behind you? But what's going on with Liverpool? As they were completely outplayed by Pep's men. We want your views on the game. 03717 223344. Elsewhere in the Premier League, went goal crazy once again with 12 goals in the other 3 games this afternoon. And we'll be getting stuck into them later on. Remember, talkSPORT is bigger than ever. We're now on YouTube and on your smart TV. So come and watch us in our fantastic 17th floor studio. But now it's all about you, your views. Give us a call. That number, 03717 223344. It's Madge, it's Pards, it's Sunday night. It's been one hell of a weekend of football. It's talkSPORT. That's right, it is the Final Word with Madge and Pards. How are we, Pards?
I'm very well, Madge. Yourself?
Yes, very well indeed. You enjoyed Remembrance Sunday. I saw you was out there today showing you respect.
Yeah, I went up to the local village green. It was quite lovely and a fitting tribute to our fighting boys and girls over the years in all sorts of conflicts, particularly World War I and World War II. But all through, and I watched a little bit of the remembrance service on the BBC, which I thought was beautiful as ever. And and we do it. We really do it well as well in football, don't we?
Yes.
You know, all the matches. Just I was at Chelsea last night, and you see them all on the TV last night, last post, etc., all brilliantly observed, and superb.
Both of us donning our poppies today in the studio.
Absolutely.
Showing our respects, of course, on this Remembrance Sunday. Liverpool just got absolutely swept aside by Manchester City, didn't they?
They did today. I mean, that was as good a Manchester City performance as we've seen for a long time. They were good in the week. They was even better today. Liverpool looked a little bit leggy. They had a lot of recovery time for Real Madrid, but mentally there must have been something got missed out there. They didn't seem to be on it. When you're preparing for a game like Manchester City away, and the way they come out of the blocks, you got to be full on, not just physically but mentally as well. And I thought they looked a little bit slow in their minds as well as their legs today.
Let's go straight over to the phones on 03717 223344. And you know who it is, didn't you? It's Manchester City have won.
Well, there's only one person it can be.
Good evening, Jax.
Matt, hello. Hiya, Pardew. How are you?
Yeah, you must be happy, Jackie.
Oh, my God. That was amazing. What a masterclass from the Blues. The atmosphere was superb. That is the worst Liverpool team I've seen for a long time. They were so poor.
Yeah,
they really was
they
poor.
weren't good. Tell me, Jax.
Can I just say something? Doku, honest to God, he was absolutely superb.
I was about to ask you about him.
He'll think he's in a washing machine tonight, spinning around upside down and going round and round and round. Doku, oh God, I can't say how good he was. He was superb, absolutely superb.
Do you know what? You've got a player there, and I always reference him when I talk about other players that can't get down the line and can't get past people. He is one that's just fearless.
Oh yeah, he just run the show.
Yeah.
Oh, Conor Bradley, I feel a bit. If Sabozla had been there, I don't think it'd been as bad, but he's just running ragged. And the whole team, I was a bit mad when Haaland missed that penalty. I thought, oh, here we go, it could be a bad day. But you know what? The play's superb. Every single player on that pitch. Nico O'Reilly, Guardiol, Diaz and Nunes, that back four should stay like that. And Donnarumma, what a signing. He was a signing of the season to me. He's superb. I'm just so happy, and we're coming, Arsenal. We are coming. We're gunning you down.
Listen. No one wins the league unless they got a world-class goalie, and you got a world-class goalie again.
Exactly.
Again,
exactly.
I might add. But let me just go back to Doku because it was interesting. Because Sam, who was on earlier, asked me, as a manager, how do you deal with something like that? Well, you can't deal with anything like you can't. There's nothing you can do as a manager when you got a player in that kind of form. You can double up on him. You can even treble up on him. But when he's just skipping round people like he was in tremendous.
Exactly that. When you think, his first season and last season, I wasn't overconfident about him, but he's just got better and better. Anthony Anton, as a season mate in the car, Anton.
Anton.
Say hello to Majestic. You talk.
How are you, lads?
How are you, Anton? You enjoy that one, mate?
Yeah, I did, mate. Absolutely brilliant. We owed them that, didn't we, after the losing to them twice last season?
Very fitting on Pep's 1,000th game as a manager.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's just unreal, isn't he? The guy is just unbelievable.
I think it's worked really well in your favour, Anton, that, people have been talking about Arsenal so much this season and Liverpool. And the Manchester City, the Man City train is it's steamrolling into town. As Pardew just said, Donnarumma in goal, Haaland up front, the likes of Doku, etc. It's like the Manchester
Rodri to come back.
Rodri to come back. Wow.
It's not only that though. It's not only that though, boys. I mean, look at players like Nico Gonzalez. Came in January, had a bit of a slow start, but to be honest with you guys, no Blues have mentioned Rodri for the last 4 or 5 games because he stepped in. I'm not saying he's in the same bracket as Rodri by no means, but he stepped in. It's been seamless.
Yeah, it really has.
The kid's been unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable.
So when are you replacing Arsenal at the top of the table is the question. Christmas time. Here comes thinking fast. Thank you very
Majestic. We always go on that mad crazy run, don't we, once we get to February, March, April, May.
True.
We can stay there for a few weeks, and then when it comes after Christmas at the end of January, we're going to go on one of them mad crazy runs. I hope. I'm not saying definite, but I hope. And anyway, one little message before I go. 100% Mo, have that.
There you
Thank
go.
you very much.
100% Mo. You've heard it from Jack. Thank you very much, Jack and Anton. Let's go to Ross, who's a Liverpool fan. Good evening, Ross.
Hello, boys. My Joe Pards, how are you?
Yeah, very well.
Ross.
Another flat performance from Liverpool today. You think after that performance in the week, you're thinking, hang about, they're back, they're rolling again. What do you think went wrong today, mate?
I'm beyond the livid stage. I've gone back to the disappointed. You know, your kids when you're disappointed them when they do something bad at school. I'm into that phase. So
you've just let me down. You've just let me down.
Exactly. You've let your family down. You let your friends down. I think what it is, I think we got, a couple of deflected goals and all the rest of the stuff. I don't think that Van Dijk header, I think that should have stood, but that's, everyone had their argument on that. I think at the end of the day, we weren't good enough. They were on it. I think tactically, Slot got it wrong. If you look at the second half, when we needed goals, he was using, it looked like Wirtz as a false 9, and there was nobody around the D, nobody in that centre forward position. 2 times when we got the ball across the 6-yard box or a tap in, there's nobody within 10 or 15 yards. There's nobody forward of the penalty spot anywhere. So I think he got it wrong. I think we needed somebody, whether it was Gakpo to go into to the centre channel or bring Chiesa on early. You just needed somebody to give those centre backs something to think about. It was just far too easy for City today when we were going forward. We didn't give him any threat. So I think he's still struggling with his first 11 slots. I think Salah needs a break now. I think after the international break, he needs a couple of weeks where we get Chiesa, Ekitike, Vert, Isak will hopefully be back. And we just try, a fresh team, fresh set of legs and see how we get on. Because doing what he did today is not going to work. It was a poor tactical performance.
And it seems to me like he's beginning to have a massive problem with Verts, isn't he? Because, he was ineffective in his first role in that game. And then he put him as a false nine, and he was even more ineffective then. And you're beginning to be concerned because obviously they've paid so much money for this guy. And as a manager, and I can tell you this for when I had Tevez, when he was put into me at West Ham, you're under massive pressure for them to produce their best. And when they're not at it, when they're not, ready for the league or in a physical or mental way, then it starts to reflect on you.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I think that's beginning to happen with Slot, with Wirtz. It's becoming a bit more of an issue than it should be.
Great call. Thank you very much, Ross, who's just disappointed. As you said.
And I think that most Liverpool fans probably that's what you can't say you're angry about that performance. It's just like it just wasn't anywhere near it, was they?
Absolutely. Still loads to come on the show. We're far from over, so do not take your shirt off yet. Richarlison, I'm looking at you. So Manchester City and Liverpool fans, we want to hear from you on a contrasting game of football. City supporters, is the title race well and truly back on? And Liverpool fans, another defeat. You're fifth in the 6 league games. And Pards, you had an interesting stat about people that have lost 5 games.
Yeah, no, Crookie brought it up earlier when I was just filling in on the show previous that 5 defeats at this stage of the season, and only one team has ever won the Premier League after that kind of figure, and that was at Sir Alexis Ferguson's Man United. So Liverpool got it all to do. But I've got also some other stats.
Well, we'll come back to them.
Come back to me later on them.
03717222344. Come and vent or celebrate with Madge and the Statman, Alan Pardew. That's all to come next on The Final Word. going hard now, Pards.
Oof, this is deep.
That's hard.
This is in the house.
This is some Skrillex and Majestic, this is.
And a little birdie tells me there's something quite important about this particular song.
Yes. It is part of an album that has just been nominated for a Grammy.
So we could be having not only
Experienced Premier League Manager.
And Manager of the Year, by the way.
Manager of the
Premier League Manager of the Year, League Manager of the Year, etc., as a Grammy winner.
We could. I'll get the Grammy and everything.
So, how long we got to wait?
I think it's in end of January.
Oh.
I didn't even know that I was nominated for a Grammy until my mate messaged me. He goes, "Mad, you know you've been nominated for a Grammy?" And I was like, I'd just woken up. He's like, "Why have you not posted about it?" And I said, "Am I?" And then I realised that Skrillex's album has been nominated for a Grammy. Therefore, I am now a Grammy-nominated artist.
Well, I've seen Ray do her business on the Grammys. She was absolute top draw. And now the next person I want to see is the Madge.
Doing that one. Hold on, my rude boy. I don't think that was going down as nice as Ray. But yeah, congratulations to Skrillex, who's been nominated for.
Yeah, well done.
It's just what the file was called. We never named it. I just sent it back to him as D&B ting.
Oh, I see.
Okay,
It's not like a street term that I'm missing out on. Okay, good.
So yeah, I am now Grammy-nominated Majestic.
Okay, well, we should use that then.
Platinum selling.
Well, let's get it all in. Let's get the T-shirts.
Yeah, let's get it all in.
Yeah.
And we are the record-breaking final word.
Of course.
So, yeah. Before we go back to your calls, there was a brilliant F1 race in Brazil this afternoon. And here with all the latest is talkSPORT's Pierre Pryor.
Yeah, it was a really brilliant race, to be honest. There was so much going on, pit stops, drama, crashes, but it was Lando Norris in the end that took victory by 10 seconds over Kimi Antonelli for Mercedes. His best result in a Grand Prix, second place, but he was pushed very hard in the final laps by Max Verstappen, who rightly so was voted as driver of the day. Pit lane to third place, nearly second. Outstanding drive, keeps him somewhat an outside chance of the championship. Russell was fourth, Oscar Piastri fifth. We saw a bold move in the middle of the race, took second place, but then copped a 10-second penalty for that bold move that caused contact and Charles Leclerc to retire. He's now 24 points back in the championship on his teammate and rival Lando Norris. Then it was Oliver Bearman for Haas, a good result in sixth. Liam Lawson, Isaac Hadjar, Nico Hülkenberg and 10th place Pierre Gasly. 2 weeks to look ahead to the Las Vegas Grand Prix now.
Brilliant stuff. Thank you very much,
Lando Norris.
I know you've been watching intently, Pards.
Well, he's done brilliant. This is, since they had the break, he's come back and took it by the horns, as they say. And he now could be the next British driver to be world champion after Lewis.
And we're there on the podium as we're watching here in the studio.
But we doff our cap to Verstappen as well and say, what an unbelievable drive. Pit lane to third. That takes some doing.
Absolutely.
There he goes, Lando. He's just going to get his trophy. Good for him.
Brilliant stuff. And, of course, today the big game finished. Manchester City 3, Liverpool 0. Lots of fallout from that game we are covering right now as the Liverpool fans are calling us, in there, literally hundreds. The switchboard is alight with Liverpool fans. Remember that number, 03 717 223344. So let's go through some of these calls. Let's go to Stefan. He was at the game. Afternoon, Stefan.
How you doing, guy? Majestic, is that you, mate?
It is me.
I've just had to pull over. Yeah, I'm absolutely fuming. I can't believe what I've just seen. Tactically, get Jackie back on. Jackie has 100% Mo just now. Just get me back on the phone with Jackie. She's talking up nonsense as per usual. But let's get to the tactics with Slot. We was unlucky in certain aspects of that game. Canota, yeah, that was a freak. Obviously, they missed the penalty as well, and the second goal was a deflection. But we're absolutely garbage. We've gone backwards. We've spent £500 million, right? I'm sick of calling talkSPORT and going nuts like this because obviously we've had 2 good results. But I can't contain myself any further. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know. Why is Isak not coming on? We spent £150 million on this guy, right? I don't care if he had a niggle. Get him on the pitch. He's there to score goals and take Salah off. Works. I think we've had our pants pulled down with this guy. I can't believe what I'm saying.
Yeah. He hasn't taken to the Premier League just yet, has he?
Not built for the Premiership. You're a Spurs fan. You've got that guy, is it Simmons?
Yeah, Xavi Simmons.
Doing certain things. This guy's cost us £120 million. I've got to listen to Carragher, Dalglish, and all these Liverpool greats that I love saying, he'll come good. It's nearly Christmas.
Well, do you know what, Steph? Let me ask with Pards here, because I felt the same with Xavi Simmons, right? And in fairness to Xavi, he played pretty decent against Man United, and he played very well against Copenhagen. And when I spoke to David Bentley on the Inside Spurs podcast last week, he reminded me that Luka Modric didn't start the Premier League. He didn't come out of the gates flying. And then obviously we know what happened. Pards, in your managerial career, is there any players you can think of that slowly started and then had to build up a bit of strength? Because we know Wirtz has got the quality.
Yeah, well, I had Cabaye obviously become a French international.
Wow. Yeah, what a player he was.
Yeah, but he was slow to pick up the pace of the Premier League. He kept getting caught in possession. You know, he was more used to kind of controlling the game at a certain pace. Now, Wirtz, the problem he's had is that he normally for Germany and for Labour, because he was playing on the side and coming in field from there. And it seems to me, and I read an interview this week where he was convinced to go to Liverpool because they were going to play him as number 10. So they've almost caused a problem for themselves because he's finding that hurly-burly in the Premier League as a number 10 very, very difficult.
You get no time.
You get no time.
Doubled up on.
Zero. And everybody congests that area. No one wants to give up that space. So he is finding it very, very difficult. And as Stefan says, you know, I can imagine if you're a Liverpool fan, it's so frustrating that you spent all this money and the two players that have cost the big bulk of that money haven't really featured for Liverpool at all in any kind of in any kind of way. Isaac has been injured and, you know, coming back from a pre-season that he didn't do, and Wirtz has been ineffective. There's no doubt about that.
Stefan, I think for me personally, just looking at Liverpool over the last sort of 10 games, I think Ekitike for me is the one that's actually...
But he was poor today.
He was poor today, but he's definitely the one I thought probably has dealt with the Premier League the best so far. Do you think you would have been better off spending money on someone like Gahey and shoring up your defence?
Of course, we spent £500 million, right? They wanted an extra £5 million, so you just spend the £30 million. I don't care that he's got 1 year left on his contract. It's nonsense. That's as good as being free, like what Trent did to us. But then we spend all this money, right, and we've gone absolutely backwards. The Isak situation, we'll speak about that. But this Wirtz thing, this number 10, is absolutely, it's not whirly-burly, it's garbage. We've got to have people down. Unless he's going to come good, and I'll eat my words next year if he clicks. But at the moment, right, he's all over the place. Yeah. He was garbage. He didn't make the changes again. Chiesa, just bring it. What's this thing with Chiesa? Why is he coming on with 6 minutes to go and we're 3-0 down? I don't understand. Is he being punished for something we don't know? Salah, I heard the other caller just say, right, he probably needs a break. He does need a break. Take him out. He probably's got PTSD from the Jota thing, but we can't carry him. You know, the Premiership's gone. You know, we might have a run in the Champions League, but it's gone. We spent £500 million, but we didn't get the defender that we needed. Kirkes again coming on.
That was the error.
We need Alisson back, okay? Granted, he's back after the international, but we can't continue like this. I'm not going to start saying Slot out, which I would have done had we not won the last 2 games, because I was going to say he has 3 games. He has the Villa, Real Madrid today to save his job, but we won 2 out of the 3, so you can't really say anything. But if this carries on, Jurgen Klopp said on that podcast the other week, I'm ready. He's basically, the SOS was there. Now, that's what Serbia. Can you imagine speaking the native tongue with words, what he'll be able to transform it? He never had £500 million to spend, like this guy Slot. I said it on my last call. He's not what you think. We was lucky last season. Everyone else fell off a cliff, and we won the league title by a canter. Now everyone's booked their game up lucky.
Yeah, brilliant call. Thank you very much, Stefan. Very disappointed with what he's seen at the moment with Liverpool. Liverpool fans, do you echo the sentiment of Stefan? Wirtz, is he dreadful? Is Florian Wirtz, have you had your pants pulled down? As Stefan has beautifully put it to us, his pants pulled down.
He was angry.
He was. But listen, he's entitled to, because when you're spending £500 million, you're expecting...
I just put up like a little bit of a kind of thing that sticks in my kind of mind a little bit about Liverpool. Klopp was the heavy metal football, right? Bang, 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 bang.
For sure.
Right? And the game was going to and fro, and it was real kind of entertaining and exciting stuff. And Liverpool got a lot of great results. Then Slot come in and slowed it down a little bit and had a little bit more methodical kind of play. But he still had the background of that music going on because Klopp's, of course, was still there. Do you know what I mean? So the influence of Klopp was still around. And I wonder whether now that's now transitioned into a slower training ground, slower tempo, and it's starting to come out a little bit in games where they've kind of lost this kind of momentum where they just constantly come for you. So I just wonder if that is one of the reasons.
Over on talkSPORT 2 right now, it's a night of NFL action, including the Jaguars taking on the Texans. But right now, keep those calls coming in. 0371722 344. It's the final word on talkSPORT.
What football ground are you thinking of when someone says this?
Really tough place to go.
Difficult place to go.
Such a tough place to go.
It's a tough place to go at the moment.
It was a really difficult place to go, always.
But what are the toughest places to go, really? We've scoured the planet to find out. Forget a cold, wet Tuesday night in Stoke. Try playing in a blizzard 220 miles inside the Arctic Circle at the world's northernmost professional club. When Chelsea lost at Tromsø in Norway in the 97-98 Cup Winners' Cup, a massive snowstorm hit at half-time. These two boys and their brooms were absolutely no match for it. We're staying in Scandinavia for Scotland's toughest away day on a windswept cliff in the Faroe Islands. In Euro 2000 qualifying, Craig Brown's men were taken to fishing village Toftir. Kevin Gallagher called the pitch a cowfield and the wind like Pitodry on a bad day. The Faroe Islands part-timers equalised in stoppage time, leading to these absolute scenes, and still one of Scotland's most embarrassing results.
Daft little ground, silly game.
But away trips don't come any tougher than a lung-busting schlep up the Andes to face Bolivia in La Paz. But now the Bolivians have taken home advantage to another level. The country's highest city, El Alto, 4,100 metres above sea level. Grass doesn't even grow up here. Bolivia have not lost here yet. The longest unbeaten run in any professional league ever belongs to Red Star Belgrade, or Crvena Zvezda if you must. They've gone 7 years without defeat at the Rajko Mitic in Serbia's Superliga. Their fans are pretty intimidating as well, but they're not as loud as this mob. Galatasaray's Ali Sami Yen Stadium's officially the loudest in world football. In a derby with Fenerbahce, Galatasaray fans set a Guinness World Record of 131 decibels. That's louder than Motorhead, and pretty tough to carry out your manager's instructions when you can't even hear them. However, our most intimidating away day is in Wales, where cameras can't enter and players can't leave. HMP Prescoed. This prison team was briefly kicked out the Gwent League over concerns about young opposition having to go in there. Now that's a tough place to go.
Early June 1939, Germany, always a tough place to go to.
Good evening and welcome to the record-breaking final word with me, Grammy-nominated artist Majestic, and experienced Premier League manager, League Manager of the Year, Premier League Manager of the Year, and what's his world's sexiest silver fox, Alan Pardew. I've thrown that one in. I voted for that. And talking of talent, Man City played like Oscar award winners with Doku, the leading man, to sweep aside champions Liverpool 3-0 in the late kickoff. City supporters, are you flying on all cylinders towards the title? And Liverpool fans, another defeat, your 5th in 6 Premier League games. That doesn't sound good, does it, Pards? 5 and 6.
No, I'm afraid.
And can we feel the anger from you about another garbage performance, as Stefan called it? So come tell us what's going wrong. 0371722 Who is to blame for this awful run? Is it Slot, Verts, or is it something else? Remember, talkSPORT is now on your smart TV. Just grab the app on Android TV and Google TV. We're even on Prime Video, so come and watch us in our brilliant new studio. But that's all about you and your opinions. 03717223344. It's talkSPORT. That's right, here's the final word on talkSPORT. Imagine Pards on a Sunday evening. Got to say a massive hello to my good friend Eats Everything.
Eats Everything?
Eats Everything.
What's that, like a service?
No. He's a DJ and a producer.
Eats Everything? You're kidding me?
No.
He hasn't done a deed poll and done that, has he? That isn't actually his name.
No,
good.
But that is his stage name.
What's his name? Peter.
It's like mine, Majestic Kevin. No, he's a wonderful chap, and he's listening. And he says, "I love when Liverpool lose."
Oh,
he enjoys listening to talkSPORT.
Is he Everton fan?
No, he's not.
No,
but he's listening. So yeah, got the international superstar DJ community with us as well.
Well, that's always nice. I bumped in a few people this week who said they loved the show. I was at Chelsea last night. A few people come up to me. It was nice. A few people on the green.
Was you working last night, Chelsea?
I was working.
How was
Chelsea. Yeah, played well. Chelsea second half, very good.
Who was you on comms with? Scaminto?
No. I was with Jim and Faye. And
oh, nice. Yeah. Very good indeed. Good game as well.
Second half, yeah, very good. And well, actually, all game I thought Chelsea were, pretty good actually.
Should we be talking
better?
Should we be talking about Chelsea's title contenders?
Well, we come on to them a little bit. My stats pack.
Oh, my stats pack. I'll tell you what. I was saying this to someone the other day. Pards comes in prepared.
Yeah.
He's never unprepared for this show.
It's important.
That is why he's the gaffer. Let's go to more Liverpool fans. Should we have another Liverpool fan, Pards?
Yeah, come on, let's have them.
Let's go with Scott, who joins us. Good evening, Scott.
Yeah, how you doing, guys? You all right?
You sound so annoyed, bro.
No, I think it's just, look, I'm thankful for Slot to what he did last season, right? That obviously goes without saying. There is an element to say that was still Klopp's team in that he made no signings that summer, as we know.
Also Klopp energy, which a little bit.
There is that because the energy we're seeing now is very much what I would call that Dutch way, where no Dutch manager has ever really succeeded in England, and I just find it's their sort of boring, slow build-up play where it's sideways, backwards. I mean, I'm yet to see a Dutch manager succeed in England, as we know. I mean, look, 1 league win in 2 months, 7 losses in our last 10, 3 away wins all season, and 1 was against Burnley in the 90th minute, a terrible Frankfurt side, and against 10-man Newcastle. It's just the manner of the performances now. That's the worrying factor. I don't think the players are wanting to play for them anymore. Yeah, we saw them get pumped up midweek against Madrid. I personally don't think Madrid are as good as City or anyone like that anyway, personally, but that's just my view. I think the Anfield atmosphere got us up for it. And I think at the moment, I just can't see where it's going to happen. He's playing the wrong tactics. I know you've been speaking about Wirtz. He needs to find a way to get Wirtz, Ekitike and Isak in the same team. He's not doing. It should be 4-4-2 diamond with both Hugo and Isak up top together.
Wow, Scott, you're not a barrister by trade, are you?
You what, sorry?
You're not a barrister by trade, are you? I mean, this is some argument you're putting up here.
Yeah, it should be the fullbacks bombing on to provide the width, like we saw with Kirkus at Bournemouth. We're not seeing that. He's telling the fullbacks to invert. He's telling wingers that aren't wingers in Gakpo and Salah to stay wide. They're not wingers. It's just not happening. It's not working at all. And as I said, I just don't see how we come back from it. And I just think at the moment the fans are starting to turn from believers to doubters again, and it's just a shame. Personally, you're going to say, who do we get if we was to make the move and get rid? Personally, I think Hughes, Edwards and Julian Ward are to blame as well. They're the ones who do the data, identify the players to bring in. They wanted to sell Diaz. I don't know why. We're seeing
see the goal he scored yesterday.
Unbelievable. We're seeing what he's doing out there at the moment. I mean, personally, I know they're going to say he was 29 and all the rest of it. So what? He's at the peak of his career. You give him that extra contract and the money he deserves.
Well, look at Salah last season in his 30s.
Exactly. Diaz was our second best attacker last season. We didn't bring in a winger to replace him. So as it stands, the actual quality in the squad is there. He's just not actually doing the right tactics on the pitch and the right setup, and it's just being there to be seen. As I say, I don't know why it's not 4-4-2 diamonds with the fullbacks bombing on, and you get both Isak and Ekitike up front together with Wirtz behind, and then just have your 3 midfielders. I don't really understand it. So it's not looking good. We got Forest, Sunderland, teams like that coming up. And honestly, I believe they will just take points of us. And at the moment, we're +1 goal difference. We've conceded 16, scored 17. It's the most average of performances so far this season. It's not looking good.
Scott, I mean, if Arne Slot's got a ball meeting this week, I just hope you're not there. Otherwise, he's in big trouble.
I would raise the point, go and get the Bournemouth manager. Take a shot on him. Yeah. You know, he's getting good performances out of his players. Maybe.
Do you know what? Scott raises a good point. I'm just looking. Goals against, 17 goals. That's not Liverpool-like, is it?
Can I give you a number stat?
Yes, Paul.
My little stat pack, right?
I'm loving the stat pack.
So after 11 games last year, they are -10 points from where they were. That's a lot of points.
3 games and 3 wins and a draw.
Yep. So that's how they're -10 from last year. From 11 games of last year, they had 28 points, which was be 2 more than Arsenal got this year, and they sit on 18. So 10 points is
I'm intrigued what
hell of a difference.
I'm intrigued what you said about the Dutch thing because, of course, Arne Slot is the most successful Dutch manager in the Premier League of all time because he won it. Obviously, there's the argument that it was with Klopp's team, but just looking at like Louis van Gaal, Gus Hiddink, Erik ten Hag. You know, Hiddink and Van Gaal, they won FA Cups. Erik ten Hag won the Carabao Cup and FA Cup. But like you said, that in terms of the league and the pace of it, it's interesting that.
Well, it follows on to the point that I made that, earlier on in the show about the slower style that kind of worked when he had the heavy metal background music. And that heavy metal background music has gone. And we now got this kind of slower version of Liverpool, which is proving problematic. We do know, which he surfaces quite a lot, Arne Slot, about the issues they've had, i.e. with fitness, with pre-season, etc., with a lot of changes. and that's without, the terrible happenings with Jota and his, untimely death. But all these things are adding up to a team that looks not functional at the moment. And it certainly didn't look functional today. And the only thing I would agree with Scott on one point about Real Madrid. I was really shocked by them. That's the worst Real Madrid side I've seen for a long time. A long time. So, where does that victory kind of leave Liverpool? Is that, did they make Real Madrid look ordinary, or was it just that Real Madrid weren't that good?
Yeah. 03717 22344. I want to hear from Man City fans as well. How good was that of a performance for you guys? Because we're criticising Liverpool. Are we not giving enough plaudit to Manchester City for how good they were today? Because I tell you what, Pards, that's the Man City that I know. And
that was a very, very top performance.
Yeah, it was. Give us a call. It's Majestic. It's Alan Pardew. It is Sunday night. Imagine Pards. It is talkSPORT.
Dang dang dang, ding a dong ding, blue moon, moon, blue moon, dip dip dip, moon, 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 blue moon, dip
Blue Moon while I sort my in-ears out. Dang, 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 dang.
That was very good, actually. Do that again.
I can hit those low notes.
Yeah, very good.
Do you know what's really strange? When my son Leo was growing up as a little lad, he used to love this song.
Did he?
I think he really was aiming for like Man City to be like his second team.
Swayed him.
I was like, mate, we don't do second teams over here.
No, not London and Manchester. No.
Yeah, you know, like sometimes they give him the other kits as well. It's like, here's the Bayern Munich away shirt. I'm like, no.
Oh.
Not on my house.
Oh, okay. Well, you had to have a Tottenham kit.
It's always special.
Home or away or the
home, away, training, fourth. The old schools, whatever it is, give me a Tottenham kit.
Yeah.
But other than that, leave it at. 03717 22 4. Let's come away from.
I was just thinking about Sarah as well, our old producer.
Yeah.
She'll be pleased tonight.
She'll be over the moon. Maybe.
Blue Moon.
She was at concert last night. She was at the Richard Ashcroft concert.
Oh, well, did he have a concert?
Yeah.
It just went right over my head, that.
The Co-op Live Arena.
Isn't he, what's that great song he's got?
Bittersweet Symphony.
Oh, yeah.
Lucky Man. The Drugs Don't Work.
And didn't he...
Sonnet. He's got loads of great songs.
Yeah, Bittersweet Symphony was the one I was thinking of, though, because he had the great video where he's bumping into people.
In his Wallabies.
Yeah, but didn't he do the forerun to the Oasis shows?
He was support. Well, even that is. You got Richard Ashcroft, then Oasis. And, of course, here on talkSPORT, we did give you the chance to go to that concert and win a load of money as well. So that's the kind of thing that we also do on this channel, on this network. So make sure you're listening across talkSPORT across the week for more fun and giveaways. Speaking of giving away, Manchester City gave nothing away today. They were superb, and we mentioned Doku already. Should we speak to a Man City fan about Doku?
Let's do it.
Let's go to James. Good evening, James.
Morning, boys. Can you hear me, yeah?
We can indeed. You must be over the moon, over the blue moon, as Bart said.
I'm absolutely over the moon, mate. I don't understand how everyone's going on about Doku, this and that. Even though the fact he got man of the match today, I think I speak for every City fan. He's, apart maybe Bar Ireland, he's our best player this season by far.
He's so good. As I said, I reference him as the one player in the Premier League. Actually, there's a couple. You know, Eze probably being another one. Semenyo. There's a couple of them that are so direct and have no fear at going and taking people on. Doku never tries to cut back inside for a pass. He's just so direct, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand. Like Conor Bradley pocketed Vinicius Jr. midweek. He turned up against Doku, and what's he done? He was knacking, he was scared. He's scared he couldn't hold himself together, could they? Sort of fouls left, right, and centre. He's an excitement to watch. I mean, I was in the South Stand today, and when you see the angle of Doku and he cut in and that goal he scored, wow.
Yeah, great
goal of the weekend. Yeah. All Trossards. Those two are probably battling for goal of the weekend.
Yeah, that was a great goal too.
What in terms of like 4 points behind Arsenal now, and I think, I said it before, I think Manchester City, and we call it a blip. You lost the Spurs at home and Brighton away, I think it was, the one after another. I think Man City now are in full flow. I think it's going to be, especially this Christmas period, I think this is where you can really sort of start doing the usual City thing.
Yeah, I mean, we lost to Tottenham, but as every City fan, it's nothing new, really, is it?
I don't understand how we can beat you all the time and just like lose all these other games.
I mean, the Brighton game as well was. We weren't that great. We lost in the last minute, was it? So it's one of them. But I think now we're in full gear. Nico O'Reilly, especially today, pocketed Salah, put him out of it. Matheus Nunes. I weren't a big fan of Nunes for quite a bit, but recently he's grown on me, man. He's putting performances in. He's smashing it. Everyone's, like you said, everyone's clicking together now. Gavardio's back centre-back. Nico Gonzalez today, he's another player. He's been brilliant. I mean, there's not much more I can say. I'm absolutely over the moon with it.
And in terms of the title, are you going to win the league? Come on, James, throw it out there.
We're going to win the league. Them lot down south better be trembling, mate. We're coming for them lot. We've got to play them at the Etihad. You got a lucky last minute goal against us at their place. We're having them. Every single one listening better be worried, mate. We're having them.
Oh, I love it. James has sent the war chant out. Thank you very much, James.
Can you imagine Arteta at home? Like, he's obviously, had a tough, like, that last-minute goal and, feeling a little bit aggrieved. Thought, pour myself a nice glass of red, watch these two battle it out, maybe get a few injuries, etc., and then he's had to watch Man City turn that in.
Yeah.
I bet he choked on that red wine. You're like that. Oh,
that's good. Let's go to Charles as a Liverpool fan. Evening, Charles.
Evening, how are you doing, guys?
Yeah, not so bad. I think frustration is probably the word that I'm going to associate most with Liverpool fans, because it just doesn't seem to be clicking.
I actually disagree.
Okay.
I mean, the previous caller, the previous Liverpool caller,
Stefan,
there were some merits to what he said, but I actually disagree with him and some of what you guys have said as well.
Go, let's hear it, Charles.
I think first and foremost, Liverpool were thoroughly outplayed. The better side won today,
absolutely.
and deservedly so. And the weaknesses in Liverpool were clear to me, but the mistake a lot of people... I've watched football a long time. I was watching football from when Alan was playing. I've watched football a very long time, and I don't look at things the way a lot of these modern fans do. They tend to be very reactionary and go over the top. I'm not particularly alarmed at the moment because things change. It's a long season, so let's wait until January. But what I will say is City are the best team Liverpool have faced this season. We've lost games this season, but the games we lost were mostly, the defeats were mostly down to tactical errors from Slot. This one, though, City are just better, period. Although Slot did make errors in this game, in my opinion, but in the main, Liverpool were thoroughly outplayed by a brilliant football side. Now, were there things Slot could have done? Yes, there were. And this is the difficult conversation. It's difficult to talk to a lot of modern Liverpool fans because, for me, the way they view football has changed from the way we used to view football when we grew up. We were not stats obsessed. We could watch a game, and someone could be by miles the best footballer on that pitch.
But Charles, hold on a minute, right? Because, okay, let's put stats to one side. Just forget about stats, right? Because you're talking about looking at games in the old way, right? So if I look at Liverpool and over these 11 games, do you honestly think they've been good enough?
Right, and this is the point I'm trying to make. I watched Liverpool today, and I didn't think Liverpool were a bad side. I watched Liverpool, and I thought Liverpool were a very good side. They just came up against a better team. This is the best team we've faced. Now, were there tactical issues? Yes, there are. I was going to get into that in a minute, but the reason why I was using the stats as a caveat, because the problem is, in today's game, people find it difficult to say, for instance, let's drop a footballer because he's got great stats. And the point I'm trying to make, I'll give you an example, right, where football's gone. We can watch a game and a player can really struggle all through the game, not have a very good game at all. But because he scored a penalty and given an assist, which I'll get into, they will come away saying, "Oh, he's had a good match. Look, the stats said so." But that's not true to life. I know I work in stats, so I know stats can be flawed, hugely flawed. So, a case in point. Let me give you an example.
Stats are only part of the just part of the picture, but they give you an indication of what your eyes have seen. That's what stats do. It's not like managers and live and die by them. Some fans do, as you probably, that's the point you're making.
That's all.
Yeah, but, you know, the most important thing on a Monday morning for a Premier League manager is to cut through the stats, to try and understand. Although the stats tell a picture, they don't tell the whole picture, and you have to decipher that picture, not just for your coaching staff, but for analysts as well. One of the analysts might be banging on about leaving a player out because of his stats, but you might think, well, there's more to it than that. So, you know, the point you're making, Charles, is relevant. I understand the point you're making, but you have to say that although you think Liverpool are a good side, they've lost 5 games in the Premier League.
Absolutely. Great call. Thank you very much, Charles. After the break, we were talking about the other 4 games. So the phone lines are now open, 03717 223344, and we'll hear from you and Arne Slot next on the Final Word phone and on talkSPORT.
American footballs are brown and tennis balls are yellow. We don't even think about it really, but the story...
Good evening, it's the Final Word Phone in here on talkSPORT with me, Majestic, and Mr. Alan Pardew. Okay, imagine Pards on the Sunday night. The darts are on.
Yeah, but Bullseye's back. You know, do you ever remember that show?
Of course I do.
Exactly. So I'm just looking at the darts, and I thought for a moment there, it's Bullseye. It's back, but it's the darts. It's
Bullseye on a Sunday night was great with Jim Bowen.
Yeah.
You're going to want yourself at the speedboat.
I think that might make a good comeback. That show.
We need like good weekend programming, didn't we?
Well, good family entertainment. You sit down. There's not many programs you can sit down in front of your kids. Like Traitors was great because you could all sit there in a family and enjoy it.
My wife and kids have been watching Traitors. They're loving it.
Yeah. By the way, doff my cap to Alan Carr, Graham Carr, my chief scout's son.
Yes,
of course. Who won? Well done, Alan. Top man. He was brilliant. Although special mention, Jonathan Ross. The show lost a little bit when he went out. He was brilliant, Jonathan Ross.
I've been faithful to the Traitors.
To the Traitors.
All this time I've been faithful to the Traitors.
Yeah, you got that off to a T.
He was brilliant, Jonathan, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He really was.
Yeah, them spinning them in circles, wasn't he?
Been a great weekend of football across the Premier League. You was at Wolves yesterday against Chelsea. Stamford Bridge. I was at Spurs. I
watched that second half of that game.
Well, you didn't need to watch the first half. It was boring.
I heard that.
Flat.
And I actually listened a little bit to Akunde and O'Hara last night talking about it, and obviously they was like rubbishing it in terms of a spectacle. And I actually agreed with them in terms of the quality of the game surprised me. The turnover of possession when people had time on the ball was actually
the passes really given away from both teams. Poor.
Really poor.
Yeah.
And United, wow, there were some major errors in that performance from them second half. They should have won that game.
But for both teams, if you don't win, don't lose.
Yeah. Well, at least the fight was there, and from both teams to try and salvage something from the game.
Do you know what's really frustrating? Because a few weeks ago, I asked you about keepers, and I said Vicario is not number one for Spurs, and you're not going to like we see today when we were speaking about Aston Villa in a moment. Martinez, that's a proper keeper, that is.
Yeah, of course.
Right.
He's a World Cup winner.
Who's been excellent for the last 3 years. He's been brilliant.
But not on set plays. He always looks all over the place to me.
That should never have gone in.
No.
How's he behind his line? The position. And I'm not a goalkeeper, and I can tell. What do you reckon Woody would have made of that?
Well, what I do know is that, at 92, 93 minutes, we're on the clock, and you've got a corner against. If your goalie comes out and catches it and it just ends the game, really. Yeah. And I always used to look for my goalie to, get involved a little bit. In a set play at the end of the game, even if you punch it away,
get out.
9 times out of 10 you're going to draw a foul anyway. Someone's going to get in your way, and the ref's going to give you a foul. So, get involved in it. He just backed off, and in the end, he backs off so far he's in his net. He saves it and pushes it in the top corner of the net. So it wasn't it wasn't one of his highlights, that's for sure.
So let's talk about the games today. Let's start with Brentford, of course, who beat Newcastle 3-1.
Surprising result, actually.
Well, considering you tipped Newcastle to be title challengers a few weeks ago, Pards, I will remind you.
I know. It's going to come back and haunt me.
Newcastle, no away win since April in the Premier League. They're 14th in the Premier League right now. Dan Burn was sent off. There was a controversial penalty, but 3-1 at Brentford. First and foremost, before we go on to the Newcastle side of things, Brentford have lost star players. They've lost the manager. And my goodness, are they doing well?
Yeah, and they've still, the manager who obviously was the set play manager has come in, and they've really nailed them down. I mean, their long throws are more dangerous than any other team.
Yeah.
They scored again from a long throw today. Dan Burn, for the way, obviously got called up for England, so he's on a little bit of a high. Before he got sent off, he almost gave a penalty away. He was lucky, actually. I thought the first one was touch and go. He got away with that, and the second one he just mistimes it and ends up getting a red as well. I'm just surprised with the quality that Eddie's got at Newcastle, that their results are this poor at this stage of the season. Whether the European campaign is really impacting, which it did for me actually when I was in the Europa League. So I do have some sympathy for him.
Well, yeah, it's just game after game. It's relentless, isn't it? And speaking of game after game, but they come out on top. Forest, of course, are in the European trophy as well. They had a better day.
Yeah.
Daishi, your mate Daishi, doing well. 3 goals to 1 against Leeds.
Yeah.
Forest came from behind to win. Only 2 points separate 19th and 15th currently. And that's Forest, West Ham, Burnley, Leeds and Fulham. Would you say that Forest and Leeds was a 6-pointer today?
Forest and Leeds 6-pointer. Yes, in the context of where the both teams are at the moment, it has to be. I mean, I thought Forest would win that game because, at home with the new manager and Sean, he's had 3 or 4 decent results, really. I expected them to win that game, and they did in the end. So a great victory for them. Leeds and Burnley slowly slipping down, aren't they? They end up in the international window 16th and 17th with teams below them like West Ham, who have won the last 2, Forest, who have not lost in 3 or 4 games, pushing. So, them two starting to look involved now. When you look above them, Fulham, Newcastle, can't see them getting relegated. Fulham, maybe. And the only cast one of all the teams that I've seen this year are Wolves. I mean, Rob Edwards is going in there, it looks like, from Monday morning or maybe Tuesday of next week to get his feet under the table. He won't have many players to work with because they'll all be on international duty. There's so many foreign players in that club. But there is some quality in there, and he's going to have to find a team that can grind out results. They've got a lot of work to do. 2 points out of 11 games. Wow.
Villa, wow. They started off the season slowly, but they have definitely got into gear. 4 goals to 0 against a very high-flying Bournemouth. Didn't see that coming. Semenyo had a penalty saved by Martinez. We just talk about Martinez quickly because at the start of the season, it was looking like Aston Villa were trying to get rid of Martinez.
Well, I'm not sure they were getting rid. Remember, they're under pressure with their financial situation, and I think they was looking for a bit of headroom, i.e. to bring other players in, maybe to let the keeper go, big money, etc.
Marco Bizot.
Yes.
Marco Bizot.
Yes.
He wanted Marco Bizot, mate.
That was one of the funniest moments of the season, wasn't it? That was brilliant. Anyway, let's go back to them. So, on my stat pack, where are Aston Villa after 11 games last year? Exactly the same place as they are this year.
Wow.
So, hats off to the manager because good obviously manager. In the European campaign as well, he's done terrific. Martinez is a strange player because he's a World Cup winner. He's an irritant, isn't he? He's a football irritant. He's that kind of personality where the home fans love him, the away fans can't stand him because he kind of exudes that kind of bad boy attitude. And I see him clip some video at the end of the game around the ear as if saying, I knew what he was going to do with that penalty. That just sort of sums him up.
He is, like you said, he's a World Cup winner, and he is someone that you can trust in the sticks. And I like that housery from him.
Do you know one thing I always used to say to Andy Woodman, who was my goalkeeper coach for many, many years? I always used to say, when we get a penalty, I want my goalie to look like they're alive. I don't want them being
shirky
or look, just sort of manoeuvring, looking like, oh, what am I going to do here? I want them to dominate
the player,
the situation.
Yeah. Pointing at them.
And he does, doesn't he, Martinez? Yeah. He's strutting around. He ain't quite ready yet. He's going to have a drink. He walks one side, walks the other.
Remember the one at Old Trafford with Ronaldo and Bruno Fernandes?
Yeah.
And they went flying over.
Yeah.
Right, Palace and Brighton. Again, Two teams have been flying high in the Premier League.
This is a bookie's dream, this fixture. It's a draw, isn't it? I haven't looked at the result. Is it a draw?
0-0.
Oh, there you go. It's usually 1-1. I mean, I was travelling in with some Palace fans today. They was in good spirits. Obviously, the team has done terrific. They've picked up again after having a little bit of a downtime. And I expected them to get over the line today. I think the injury to Gahey was crucial. And unfortunately, he's going to miss out on the England cap. So that's a shame for him.
We mentioned Newcastle's poor performance today. 14th in the Premier League. Lost to West Ham last week as well. Let's find out what Jamie, the Newcastle fan, thinks what's going on with his beloved Newcastle. How are we, Jamie?
Not bad yourself?
Yeah, not bad. You sound very frustrated. What's the situation in your opinion, Jamie?
Just want a quick start off, Pardew. Absolute delight to speak to you, mate. I was one of the biggest fans of yours when at Newcastle.
Oh, thank you so much.
Very kind of you.
Thank you.
Just this whole Newcastle situation, it's like, I think Eddie Howe's took the team to that level. I think he's found his level. He's struggling massively at the minute, I think, in every aspect of the game. It's horrible to say that because I love Eddie Howe, but look at the teams what's had these ownerships. He's took the team to that level, and I think he's found his place. Dan Burn, left back, again the day. Lewis Hall's on the bench. If he's on the bench, in my eyes, he should be starting. Nick Pope, he's been good for, but he's calamity when the ball goes in the box. You've got Ramsdale, who's excellent. I think he's reached his level, and now it's, unfortunately, I think it's time to move on.
Well, I wasn't expecting you to say that, if I'm honest. I think when I look at his team, Joe Linton, Tonali, Ganaras, what a midfield that is. Murphy was absolutely brilliant last year. Barnes got a goal this week. You've got the big fellow they signed. I mean, it does look on paper a good team. I do take your point about the goalkeeper. I think that's a position that's struggled this year. I'm still surprised that the column for wins isn't greater. I do think that Eddie's got enough in the locker. He proved that by winning the cup, and I do hope that he improves on the situation. I certainly think he's got enough in that changing room. But at the moment where we stand, Jamie, I can't. You're going to see more of them than I am at the moment. You will know. But my opinion is stick with Eddie, and let's see where we go.
Brilliant, cool. Thank you very much, Jamie, the Newcastle fan there. Newcastle fans, do you agree with Jamie? Has Eddie Howe taken Newcastle as far as they can go? Is that the ceiling for Eddie Howe? 0371722 344. If the ceiling is winning your first trophy after 60-plus years and Champions League football in the last couple.
And by the way, selling your striker who got 20-odd goals or whatever he got last year.
Basically, coming into a side that was doomed for relegation to then Champions League, not once, but twice, and winning a trophy. Do you think it's a knee-jerk reaction, possibly, or do you agree with Jamie? 0371722 344. It's Majestic Pards, it's Sunday night, it's talkSPORT. evening. It's the Final Word phone in here on talkSPORT with Alan Pardew and me, Majestic. The jump season is back on Racing TV, and you can enjoy a free month right now. Watch live racing from Cheltenham, Aintree, and so much more. Head to racingtv.com/free trial now to get your free month. And the jumps look better on Racing TV. And to celebrate, Racing TV is giving away a pair of tickets to the New Year's Day racing at Cheltenham. A 50-inch TV and a 1-year subscription to the channel. Go to talksport.com/win to enter. 18 plus, terms and conditions apply. Good luck. You love a bit of racing, Pods?
Yeah.
I used to love doing the racing on talkSPORT too.
Did you? You didn't do that.
I did do a bit of racing on talkSPORT too. Like
What, in terms of what? As a host, or
well, I'd have to hand over.
We're going to air for the 320.
Exactly that.
Really?
And I'd speak to. I'm sure our producer Ross will remember. It's Lee McKenzie, right? Who does the racing? What a guy!
Was he?
Such a top gentleman.
Lovely.
And basically,
I think I vaguely remember.
He's got a great voice.
Yes, I do.
And I'd be like, right, let's go to the 3:30 at Great Yarmouth. Let's go to Lee McKenzie, and Lee's there. And we'd go through the list of horses and we'd find musical names.
Okay.
And we had this thing literally for about 10 races in a row. Our horse won. We'd find a musical one and they'd win. And he's like, you're on a winning streak here. It was really good. So, yeah, massive love to Lee McKenzie. What a gentleman. Right, following the defeat to Manchester City, Liverpool boss Arne Slot caught up with talkSPORT's Alex Crook, and he was not happy with a certain referee's decision.
Oh.
Immediately when I went inside after the game, people showed me a moment last season where City played away at Wolves, where City scored a goal, where I think it was Bernardo Silva who was ducking, and they allowed that goal. The VAR said, come and take a look. Same referee, by the way, Chris Kavanagh, come and take a look. And he went to the screen, did take a look, and said, the goalie could see the ball. There's no reason to disallow this goal, so it should be allowed. And I don't think the linesman should have raised his flag, or maybe he did this because the referee told him to, but then Michael Oliver should have always overturned that decision, which he didn't do. And let me leave my comments by that.
How do you assess the overall picture now? 8 points behind Arsenal, 5 defeats. I've been looking back historically, 5 or 6 defeats is the most you can have and go on and win the title.
Yeah, but I think at this moment of time, the last thing we should do is talk about what you're talking about. We lost too many games. This week started off really well with 2 good wins. And we have to take that into the period after the international break, where I prefer to judge the league table. I said this last season as well, so I say this one more time. After 19 games, of course we all look at it after 38 games, but 19 gives maybe a bit better impression than 5, 6, 7, 11. But it's clear that we have to improve, and that's not new to me. It isn't as if after the last 2 wins I thought all the things we had to improve are gone. No, there's still a lot to improve, and that's what we're going to try to do after the international break.
And under the cosh, Liverpool manager there, Arne Slot, speaking to talkSPORT's chief football correspondent Alex Crook, and you can start to hear the little cracks here and there, the frustration. What did you make of what you had to say there? Weren't happy with the refs at all?
No, for him to... He said there that if the ref told the linesman to put his flag up, well, that's never going to happen. The linesman is independent of the referee, on a decision like that. You're not going to get a referee go, put your flag up, put your flag up. So that was a bit of a nonsense. The linesman, if you categorise that goal, the linesman has to put his flag up because when he heads it, he's in an offside position. That's his job. And then it's the round for the referee and VAR to sort out whether he interfered with play. From where I see it, I think he was just in sort of the distance of the goalie to be offside and interfering with play as an obstruction for the goalie's movement. You could argue that the other way, and Arne Slot is obviously going down that road, but I don't think it's the time. If I was him today, I would have taken that on the chin, that defeat, and said, we weren't good enough. I don't know. Yeah, let's move on. I wouldn't have looked for excuses about penalties or referees today.
Because Man City were that good.
Sometimes, sometimes you there is a time for that. Definitely to go and rattle your sabre against the officials. Today was not that day because they just was nowhere near it, and they got well beat. So save that one. Put that sabre away and save it for another day.
Well, let's go find out from a Liverpool fan what they made of that conversation from Arnslot and Alex Crook. Kenny joins us. How are we, Kenny?
Good, boys. How are we? Okay?
Yeah, very well, my friend. What are you making of Slot's comments there?
Mate, I don't know. I'm with Pards on that, mate. He needs to just take it on the chin, dust ourselves down. Mate, he can't be coming out with stuff like this. We were poor, mate. We were miles off it, and it's becoming a bit of a worrying trend now, especially for me away from home. That's one thing I always like my teams, but let's see how good we are away from home, backs against the wall. But just this season, we're coming way short away from home. We're getting bullied.
Yeah.
Palace, Brentford. You know, we were lucky to get something against Newcastle. You know, Burnley, last-minute winner. You know what I mean? We've lost. You know, it's a worrying trend for me, and I don't know how you address this away from home. It's all right when we're at home and you've got 60,000 Reds, you know, willing it over the line. But I don't like this trend away from home now. Yeah. The way we're keeping up, it's just not a good look. It's worrying. It's worrying seeing us after winning the title. Listen, we were all looking forward to the season.
Yeah, of course.
All of us.
Yeah.
You know, especially with you know, winning the league, the players that we brought in. We knew it would always take a while. And listen, and there's also a way of losing games. You can lose a games where you think, have we lost that? But we're losing games. We're getting done over big time, and that's a worrying trend for me.
What do you think Arnslot needs to do to correct things, Kenny? What
knock them on the TV or the radio, making excuses.
Yeah, do you know what? Man City were just that good today. You just come on and say, listen, sometimes you just lose to a better team and you go again, Pods.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, I think that should have been his move today. I mean, I just want to ask Kenny about the conundrum, which is like concerning for me when I look at Liverpool. When Kirkes come in, I thought, wow, that could be a great signing for Liverpool. But the fullbacks, both sides, it looks like, who are we going to choose? Who's going to play there? No one seems to be grasping the metal there. It's a real worrying area. Are you worried, Kenny, about the fullback situation?
I was more. Listen, I was Trent's biggest fan, still am, and I was one of the few that was like didn't want him to go. You know what I mean? I was backing up because I could see it, thinking, listen, he creates so much for this team. It's untrue. Salah's half the player without him, so don't worry about his defensive side. You know what I mean? We were always good. Yeah. Let's see what he offers to the team. Oh, Conor Bradley is doing okay, but he doesn't cross the halfway line. Salah's getting no service. So the Conor Bradley thing, a bit of concern for me there because I don't think it's the answer. Kirk has, I don't know, sometimes the weight of the shirt can just be a little bit too much.
We've spoken about that weight of the shirt before, Kenny, actually, and I think...
Yeah, there's a good player in there, we can all see it. You know, I listen to ex-players on the radio, on the TV, and they all say good things. I mean, obviously, I didn't see a lot of Bournemouth. You know, you obviously, no disrespect to Bournemouth, but you don't. I went off what players and ex-players were saying about him, I thought, well, this probably looks like a good signing. Not that Robinson was ever letting us down, by the way, but age was just catching up with them. That's
exactly. And then the legs changed, didn't they? Thank you very much, Kenny. A great call there. Right. We're going to be speaking about Saturday's games next on the Final Word. Get involved. 03 717 22 33 4.
Formula One. It's a sport often seen as insular and elitist, but it's seen a meteoric rise under its owners Liberty Media, not only in popularity and viewership, but in the ability to almost print money. From greater access to more races, here's how it happened. For decades, Formula One was owned and run by one man, Bernie Ecclestone. He was old school, someone who thought the sport itself was enough, and there was no need for all this modern marketing and social media nonsense. But in 2016, Ecclestone agreed to sell his baby to American group Liberty Media. It cost Liberty Media $4.4 billion, and they quickly got to work. We got an F1 app almost immediately, and teams were allowed to show us more from behind the scenes. One of Liberty's most important deals was with Netflix, which in 2019 brought us Drive to Survive. The effect? An almost 70% rise in viewership for races in the US alone. It's massively benefited Formula One online too, with a rise from 7.8 million followers across its social media platforms in 2016 to around 50 million today. New eyes are on the sport too, with F1's own subscription TV channel, which people can watch anywhere in the world. But the main market they've tapped into is the US. There's now 3 races there a year in Texas, Miami and Las Vegas, and an American branded team, Cadillac, getting involved in the sport too. More races seems to be the direction of travel. A street circuit in Madrid's being welcomed onto the calendar, while conversations around a Grand Prix in Africa have ramped up in the last few years. More big events could be in the offing too, after the massive F1 75 season launch event in London in 2025. 7.5 million people tuned in to watch it live across the social media channels, and that doesn't include the viewing figures for where it was broadcast on TV in certain countries. It seems Liberty will do whatever they can to grow the F1 brand. Their efforts have been worthwhile too, with Forbes valuing the sport at $17.1 billion back in 2023, almost 4 times more than what they bought it for in 2016. Not bad, considering it's seen as a sport where people just drive around in circles.
Welcome to the Final Word phone in here on talkSPORT with me, Majestic, alongside the experienced Premier League manager even. Get your words out, Madge. Boss Alan Pardew. Soon we will be discussing the North London clubs being involved in goals galore, and Pards details how Wolves could turn their awful season around with a new manager on the horizon. 03717 22 3344. It's the Final Word with Madge and Pards here on talkSPORT. Now, normally on this part we have the greatest quiz on radio, which is obviously producer Ross's quiz, and that's why he's said in the lines here, he's the greatest quiz on radio. And don't worry, that is coming very shortly, but I wanted to touch on a quick subject which is very close to my heart, and of course it is November, which a lot of people do Movember, Pards.
Yeah.
Which is an amazing charity now that helps with things like prostate cancer and men's mental health and suicide prevention.
Yes.
Subject very close to my heart as an ambassador for CALM, which is the campaign against living miserably. Now, Pards, this time last year I embarked on a journey, Project 365, if you remember rightly.
I do.
So lots of people have been asking, how am I getting on? And, you know, what's the update and where's we going? And of course I went into that project thinking, right, I'm going to be in, you know, this time next year I'll be this amount of stones down, I'll look completely different and it'll be great. And as you know, you're with me most weekends. Started off in a brilliant way, lost 4.5 stone in about 4 months, and then hit a bit of a mental hurdle before going on to my tour. Now, I put up a post on my social media the other day to bring everyone up to speed on, you know, what the year and the year had taught me. Now, I got to a place, and it's very important to talk about these things, especially with platforms that we've got, because there might be someone out there right now listening to the show who can resonate with this. And I got to a place in the summer where I wasn't very well, both mentally and physically, and it took a loved one, mainly my dad, who noticed the change in me and literally said to me, "What's wrong? What's going on?" And that's when I confessed to him I didn't want to be here anymore. And that was very hard to do. And, you know, obviously lots of tears and breaking down. And it was at that point that my dad sort of begged me, please get some help, which I'd always reluctantly avoided for whatever reason. And having, you know, gone through different bouts and spiraling and back and forth. And again, this is very, you know, it resonates with the Project 365 thing, because it's like, when you're up and you're doing well, yeah, you can achieve everything. But when you hit that sort of hurdle, you hit a dark hole, it's really hard to sort of exist and just go about normal life. So my dad managed to get hold of a therapist, and for the last few months now, and I'm comfortable to say this on air, and the reason why I wanted to do this during November is to really normalize the idea of therapy, because I am about, 3-4 months in, and I must say that talking to someone and opening up to my therapist, who's obviously a professional, has changed my life, like, in such a positive way. And I think it's a discussion that sometimes is difficult for men to have, you know, and especially that thing I put up the other day on my social media, the video's on my socials if you want to watch it. I had so many different people and people that listen to this show, men, reaching out to me saying, Madge, I'm in the same place. You know, I just think it's something very important that we should normalise.
Yeah, and one thing I would, and well done, by the way, to do that, because one of the big problems I've had with players in the past who have had mental issues and all sorts of situations they've got themselves into is actually to face reality and to get some treatment. And one of the issues you always, and prostate cancer is one of those issues where you have this issue and you ignore it. And you ignore it, and then suddenly it's too late.
And especially with prostate cancer, there's a taboo about the check and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, which isn't, you know, I mean, now it's a blood test. I believe that they can, you know, have a good kind of idea where you're at. But, you know, when you come back to mental health and, you know, getting yourself in ruts and getting yourself really down on yourself, it's very important to if you can, to share it.
Yeah.
And that's what you've managed to do, to face up to it and to share it now with this analyst who obviously is helping you in that great way.
And I think, like you said, even with players and then whatever it is, even if it's addiction or whatever, it's facing the reality and admitting I have an issue. And I think that's probably the hardest thing to do, is to go, because I'd always brush off and I'll be all right, I'll be okay.
Yeah, of course.
And I'll just get lost in work and I'll just be on
that. You know, you when you think about it, media and everything in your past is ingrained you to be macho, to stand up to things, and you know, you'll tough it out. You know, you'll be strong enough. That's always the kind of things that people give you, friends, and you know, as I say, it's not always possible for people to do that.
And
they need outside assistance.
And as I say, you know, some people might be listening to us right now and be, you know, thinking, oh, well, I don't have a family unit or something. I can't get help from someone I know.
And have we got stuff online which they could?
Absolutely. You've obviously got the likes of the Samaritans, which are an incredible charity. As I mentioned, Calm, the campaign against living miserably, which is the campaign, the charity that I'm an ambassador for. There are so many services out there now that are able to help. And you know what? Like, even this morning, I've got say a huge big shout to Victor Smith, you know, my boxing coach,
yes,
who we've had on the show before,
yes,
and obviously he's had an incredibly difficult 18 months.
Yep.
You know, he's up at 6 a.m. with me walking and helping me, and just doing that with a friend, just both of us, as we said, for our own mental health, has really helped. And I think there'll be a lot of men and women listening to this, but especially men who are maybe go through the same things. And I think just that, even at the idea of just going walking with your friend and opening up, and the reason, like why I say we talk about this now in November on this platform, is because we know there will be so many men resonating right now. And we've seen some incredible adverts and campaigns that football clubs are doing now with...
Yeah, the football clubs are very good with it, you know, in terms of the fan base that they could connect with, and they give support to, you know, particularly through foundations and academies, etc., etc.
Yeah, especially in an ever-changing world as well, where, you know, society's changing, and, you know, sometimes like the idea of masculinity has been, you know, thrown around as the word toxic. You know, it can feel like a very isolated world for a lot of men right now.
Yeah, and you know, we obviously, there's a million times you talk to friends and we knock the NHS and we say this about, you know, this is about England and our countries, etc., etc. But the British Isles has a great support network and great services that are available to anyone.
Absolutely.
So they're there. You just got to, you know, reach out.
And as I say, the reason why we talk about this and the show, people like, you know, I know even some people be like, oh, stop this woke nonsense. This isn't woke nonsense. This is important stuff that, you know, hopefully can go and save some people's lives. Because as I said, I know firsthand that going to therapy and sharing my problems has saved my life. So I think it was important for us.
And you know, just for our fans, really, where are you now?
Just in a better place where I am taking care of myself, which is really important. So I unfortunately had to cancel my Australian and tour and bar. I'm supposed to go off in a couple of weeks' time because I'm, you know, looking after myself, like both physically and mentally.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that I really ignored for a long time. And again, being in the world that, you know, we exist in the world of media, etc., you know, I'm very, very aware how privileged I am to sit in this chair on a Sunday evening to talk to you, you know, someone I used to watch and talk about football, something I love. But I know there's a million other people that love to do this job. So you're always, I've got to do this. I have to take that opportunity. You never stop.
Yeah, sure.
But if you can't pour from an empty cup, as they say. So it's important that, you know, you do look out for yourself. And I'm sure there's other people out there. But yeah, I thought I'd share that. And of course, if you want to check out that video that I put online, it's on my Instagram, which is Majestic Online. If you want to check that as well. And as I say, please do check for those services like the Samaritans, Calm, and other mental health charities that are doing incredible jobs. And if you can, like, seek professional help.
Absolutely. That is key.
Brilliant stuff. Right, we are going to turn our attention back to this weekend's football. 03717223344. And to cheer us all up, the greatest quiz in the world is back after this. Good evening. It's the final word phone in here on talkSPORT with me, Majestic, and experienced Premier League manager Alan Pardew. We've had loads of messages coming in since that last section when we talked about men's mental health during Movember. But right now, we have the musical montage of our greatest quiz on the radio. Chemical Brothers, go. The Chemical Brothers are from this city. And then this is the England 1986 World Cup song.
Hold it. What was that? That just gone? Is it gone?
Yeah, that was the World Cup song. We got the whole world at our feet.
Oh, yeah.
And this, of course, is Chris Rea, Driving Home for Christmas.
Oh, one of the great Christmas songs. Bit early.
Are we, It's
a bit early.
Is it too early?
Of course it is.
It's never too early, Ross is saying. Are we, is it a manager or a player this time? It's a manager and a player. So, Chemical Brothers go, as they are from this city, and England 1986 World Cup song. We've got the whole world at our feet, and Chris Rea, Driving Home for Christmas. Great record there. So do you know the famous footballer after those three songs? We will be playing those for you again in a moment's time. Remember, it's the club he played for.
Is there a clue about the Christmas song, by the way?
Chris Rea, Driving Home for Christmas. I'm not sure if we got a clue on that. Is there a clue?
Or just like the song, we just bunged it on at the end?
No, I think there might be something to do with maybe Chris.
I'd like to think there is.
Oh, I think I might actually have it. I think I might actually have it.
All right.
03717 223344 or text us on 81089. Just before we get into the games from yesterday, we've had so many lovely messages about what we was talking about a moment ago, and I must say a big shout out to Sarah, still producing us from afar, and she has told us to make sure that we give out a number, and of course she's absolutely correct, because if you are in a place where you need some support or help, and as I said, you don't have your own network or you don't feel comfortable speaking to someone within your own network, of course the Samaritans offer a safe place to talk about anything that's troubling you at any time. The phone number is 116123. That's 116123. You can speak to them 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Or you might not feel comfortable speaking on the phone. You might want to text someone. Shout is another great support network. It's a confidential text support service for anyone in crisis or needing immediate help. Text the word shout to 85258. And that is shout to 85258. And finally, of course, I mentioned Calm, that the charity I'm an ambassador for. The phone number 0800 58 58 58. That's 0800 58 58 58, and they're open daily from 5 p.m. to midnight, 365 days a year, and they also offer a web chat service as well. So thank you for all your support and messages coming in. Even had Alan, the Arsenal fan, saying, Madge, we love you. Even the Arsenal fans sending their love to us.
Well, that's nice.
And that is what is so important.
The football community, eh?
The football community.
Comes together.
We have a bit of banter with one another. We have a bit of rivalry, but when it comes to it, we come together on these important subjects, and that's why talkSPORT is such a wonderful network for always supporting things like this. Now let's turn our attention to the best of what the Premier League gave us on Saturday. Mate, it's goals galore as Sunderland 2, Arsenal 2. Wow, what a game that was.
Great Saturday evening game, wasn't it, up there, and the stadium. I've obviously taken Newcastle there, and that stadium is electric when they get it going. And that's what it looked like from even coming through the TV. You could sense that. And Arsenal were up against it. The emotion and everything coming through that Sunderland team were on a high. And it was a really good game, I thought. And Arsenal looked like they'd done the job, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
Trossard smashed that. Great.
What a goal from Trossard.
I was looking at his stats, actually. His stats are as good as anyone in the Premier League, you know. And I think he's like, I'm not sure, but I think he's played almost more minutes than anybody else in that Arsenal team. He's getting a lot of game time because he keeps delivering.
He was a
goals.
great buy.
Yeah, a great buy.
Another buy that Spurs looked at and didn't get over the line.
Ah, well, there you go. Anyway, thought it was done. And then right in the last minutes when, you're just pumping balls in, really, as a home team to try and get something out of the game. What did they do? They come up with a moment, Robbery, with that kind of hooked shot just before the diving header from the defender and the goal he could get there.
About on these networks, especially with you, Pards, that the promoted teams, how many games do they need to win in the Premier League?
Well,
it stuck with me. It's like a teacher's comment.
Yeah. Well, traditionally it's 10. But it probably going to be slightly less. But if you just give yourself that margin of 10 wins, and you get close, you're going to stay in the division. And it's a long, long way off when you're at Wolverhampton Wanderers.
Well, we'll go to them in a moment. But Sunderland, third in the league, 19 points. They've already won 5 games and only lost twice in the Premier League.
There.
They staying up?
I think from what I've seen of them and the home support that they've got, I think they'll win those other 5 games they need to win, because I think they're definitely going to get 3-4 home wins between now and the end of the season.
And in terms
I'd say yes.
In terms of Arsenal, was that 2 points dropped last night, or a good point away at a very difficult Sunderland right now?
No, I think when you're going for the title, to concede a goal like that is going to happen from time to time. But I just thought, in the circumstances they were in, they had good control of the game. I think that's 2 points dropped.
Well, 03717 22 3344. Let's talk about Chelsea and Wolves. Pards, you were there for talkSPORT. First and foremost, we got to look at Wolves. Rob Edwards agrees a contract for the Wolves job.
Yes.
What do you make of that?
Well, he hasn't gone there because he's seeing a side that he thinks he's going to improve dramatically. I think it's an emotional move because he's come from Middlesbrough, who are very unhappy. Not just the owner and the directors, but the fans really angry that he's taken this opportunity. He's obviously got a lot of connections at Wolverhampton Wanderers. I think it's an emotional return for him. He's ex-player there, ex-coach there. So, but when you look at the squad, wow, he's got a lot of work to do. Really got a lot of work to do. The 2 outstanding midfield players, Andre and Gomez, are great players. The striker is definitely good enough, but he's not firing at the minute. He's got to seal them up. He's got to stop conceding goals. He's got to be better at set plays. They were poor at set plays last night, I thought. And he's got to find a winning kind of tactical game plan because, as I say, we are 10 wins away from them staying in division with, 27 games to go.
Yeah, and Wolves, when they had Nuno Espirito Santos, he was there for a good, how many seasons? He was there a while, wasn't he?
2-3 years.
Yeah, possibly more than that.
Yeah.
Since then, they've had 6 managers in 5 years. What's going wrong with Wolves?
Well, it's such an international band of players. When you look at the signings they've done, obviously Mendes, the powerful agent, has put a lot of players in there. It seems like he's now come out of Wolverhampton Wanderers and his focus is elsewhere. Cunha has moved on, for example. Neto has gone to Chelsea. They've lost some big players who because they've done well on recruitment. But at the moment, I would say that their pool of players looks really concerning when you put it up against any other Premier League team.
Yeah.
And and also you got the complication of a lot of language, maybe issues in the changing room, a lot of different cultures to try and bring together. I think Rob Edwards got his hands really full there. But he's had experience with Luton. Obviously, in the end, they did go down out of the Premier League. But he had a good go at it. He'll learn from that experience, and he's going to need all that knowledge and a little bit more to get them out of it.
Do you remember that Paul Whitehouse sketch was in the changing room and he's speaking in all those different languages and accents to the players?
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah.
Right.
And they're back on tour, the Fast Show. Little tip for them. It's nice to see them back.
Yeah. Have you been in a dressing room like that when if it's a very, very diverse in nations and languages? Is it more difficult to control?
Well, sometimes, yeah, because you're talking and you're not sure it's actually going in, and of course sometimes, particularly foreign players, will kind of use their language sometimes as an excuse, if you know what I mean. They lean on it to I didn't quite know what you meant, Gaffer. Your kind of attitude, and I don't understand. So you get that kind of cheekiness coming back at you when you know full well that they probably did understand. It can be particularly young players where the nerves, and can you imagine how nervous and tense you are, right? To play a Premier League game, plus throw in their age, plus throw in a foreign you're a foreign country, plus a foreign language. It's, so you can imagine a lot of information just is going over their heads. It's not really going in. Estevez, the boy at Chelsea, who looks an outstanding talent, who come on last night and lit the game up. I'm pretty sure, he's not taking much in. He's just playing by instinct a little bit, and they're trying to teach him gently.
It was funny. I was with former Tottenham and Brazilian midfielder Sandro the other day.
He was a very good player.
And he was talking about how when he first came to Spurs, he couldn't understand Harry Redknapp. It was like, well, he's a trippy player, so he found it difficult. Of course, especially if, speaking, you might have a little Cockney twinge or something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Accents helped as well.
Yep.
You mentioned the player there, Estevavo. Wow. Like, he was brilliant when he came on, didn't he?
He has that real kind of electric burst of pace over 4 yards. Forget about 10 yards. He literally can go from here to that TV, which is 3-4 yards away, a lot quicker than anybody else. He's so quick, low to the ground. He's got a really lovely balance. He's quite fixed set for a young player, so he's strong enough to cope, and he's only going to get more and more powerful. So, what a great signing he could be. He could make up. Obviously Chelsea have maybe paid over the odds for a lot of their players, but certainly with him, they might make it all up with one player.
Yeah, Estevao, I think is how you pronounce it.
Yeah, I'm not sure how you pronounce it.
But
but we're not going to forget it.
Good. That's what I'm going to pronounce it.
Yeah, he's well, the boy at Arsenal, obviously, and this boy, probably the two best young players I've seen for a long, long while in the Premier League.
Yeah. Let's talk about Spurs and Manchester United. I was there. A very, very boring and flat first half. And it's not something we haven't seen already at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium of late.
Very much like that Europa League final that I was. Oh yeah, it was them too. Yeah.
Yeah, it was the battle of the baddest for the wrong reasons. But the second half, it did come to life, and Man United already 1 goal up. I think Thomas Frank's changes were positive and definitely helped Spurs on their way to secure a point. Let's talk about Richarlison, who was very ineffective during the whole game, in my opinion. He gets that goal, and this is the second time he's taken his shirt off.
Yeah.
And Spurs haven't won.
Yeah. Yeah. O'Hara was picking up on that point, and the fact that, the 2 or 3 minutes that he'd wasted, where they were trying to get his shirt back on, etc., and celebrating with him, was the extra time that Man United scored in. So, yeah, I mean, I would say, though, that Thomas Frank, and we know this, Spurs are short right at the top of the pitch. There's no doubt about that. And second half, I thought he really kind of got him in a good gear with the players he had available. So he did a sterling job, and then his subs come on and changed the situation. So Thomas Frank, for me, got a lot of brownie points. Amrin, on the other hand, I was bemused with how cheap they were giving away possession. I thought the substitutes, and I'm a big fan of Amrin, right? I've always speak up for him, but I thought he got it all wrong yesterday, and he was very lucky to get out of jail with that last-minute goal.
And you're a big fan of a strong Manchester United for England, which went viral last week.
Yes, for the good of the game.
For the good of the game. For the good of the country as well. It's Imagine Pards here on the final word. Don't forget 03717 223344. Get those calls in right now. It's talkSPORT.
kicked, and he has stolen a point. He's got up highest.
Everton 2, Fulham 0. Michael Keane.
Nuno Espirito Santo punches the air. West Ham 3, Burnley 2.
It's Sunderland 2, Arsenal 2. Equaliser coming from one of the new Sunderland signings over the summertime, Brian Brobby.
Neto scoring against his old club. 3-0 to Chelsea.
It is a thumping one indeed. Aston Villa 4, Bournemouth 0.
Anderson will come forward right-footed and drills it into the back of the net. A third goal for Nottingham Forest.
Neck and neck in the league table, and they couldn't be separated on the pitch. Crystal Palace 0, Brighton 0.
3 points wrapped up for Brentford. Igor Thiago with his second of the afternoon. Brentford 3, 10-man Newcastle 1.
Jeremy Doku has just made it Manchester City 3, Liverpool 0.
As well as Liverpool played against Real Madrid in midweek, they have been atrocious. You still think they can win the title? No chance.
And that is why the weekend sounds that good on talkSPORT. Our Premier League team bringing you all the action there, and that's how it sounded here. It was an incredible weekend in the Premier League, so let's turn our attention to Sunday's game. Start with a big clash at the Etihad. It finished Manchester City 3, Liverpool 0, meaning Liverpool are now 8 points off of Arsenal. 5 defeats in 6 league games, 17 goals conceded in the Premier League so far. Liverpool completely outclassed. Slot not happy with the ref, but is that masking over the problems? Virgil van Dijk here, the goal disallowed. Was that fair? And both Slot and Wirtz being criticised by the callers on talkSPORT. Pards, let's talk about Liverpool before we go on to Manchester City. Totally outclassed, totally outplayed. Worrying times for Liverpool or not?
Well, it's worrying times, in terms of defending their title, because, that's something that they were very, very eager to do. They won the title before and not defended it, and I think they really wanted to do that this year. The signings that they made were definitely signalling we are going to win it again. Wirtz coming in, Isaac coming in, obviously the long protracted transfer from Newcastle, and then Gahey not quite getting over the line when we all thought that was going to happen. And now suddenly we're left with this model that unfortunately looked like it was playing at a different pace to Manchester City today. If you was a neutral, I don't know, we'd just brought flew you over today and said, watch that game, tell me what you think. You would think there'd be like some distance between the two teams. Yeah, sure. Like a big distance. One seemed to be playing at sort of 80 mile an hour, and the other team was sort of 55 mile an hour. And Manchester City were just so good today, and I'm still kind of, my managerial hat is sort of saying to me, well, were they that good that they made Liverpool look bad, or did Liverpool, make Manchester City look good? I don't know. Somewhere in there is the truth. But what I do know is that there is definitely a malfunction in terms of the setup of that Liverpool team. The consistent attacks, the constant winning in possession to get another attack, a set play, winning it when it comes out after a set play to have another chance to score a goal. None of that happened today. It all happened for Manchester City. They had an attack, they had another attack. They got a set play. They almost scored from the set play. It's a goal kick. They win possession. They keep possession for a while. Have another attack. Then it was like a constant theme. And I can only think of it's in the second period, just after half time, when Slot didn't make any changes. They had probably their best spell of only about 10, 15 minutes, Madge, wasn't it? Yeah. And then it was game over. I think it's worrying times in terms of now. Looking at Liverpool to win the title, because they've got a lot to make up, particularly with the two powerful teams. When you look at Arsenal and you now look at Manchester City, and I think it's only the last 2 or 3 weeks we've been saying this about Manchester City. Now they're starting to look powerful again.
Yeah, because it did all start with Haaland being consistent as he always is, although he missed the penalty. But I think Doku is someone that we haven't talked about enough, really. He's someone I've been such a big fan of, but it just feels like he's going up another level now. I think it takes a while to settle into the Premier League. We've seen that of a lot of players. Yeah. Florian Wirtz is someone that we
exactly. So it's a nice example for Wirtz, somebody Doku. But when he first come, actually, his first few games were terrific. Yeah. And then he kind of slipped away a little bit and wasn't in the team, etc., etc. But now he looks the man, doesn't he?
He does. He just looks seasoned in the Premier League, and I think that experience really helps. And you know what? He's one of those players that, my goodness, he's got it all.
Do you know how old he is?
How old?
23.
Oh, that's scary.
So, he's got his best years ahead of him. And, the one thing we're going to talk about Pep in a minute, but one of the things that you have to say about him as a manager, he does improve players. He's taken world-class players. People say, oh, he's always had world-class players. He's always been able to, buy the best. But he improves the best. And that's a difficult job. And I think he's improved Doku no end. And how positive was he today in like every action? And when we keep seeing inverted wingers who just sort of look like they're going to take them on and then go, oh no, I'm going to pass it to my midfield player. I'll pass them.
The most frustrating thing in football.
You at Spurs, you've made an art form out of that.
We are the kings of it.
But having a wide player like Saka, like Doku, who just goes right, I'm gonna have a go at you.
That's what makes
inside or outside.
That's the difference. And then you mentioned Saka because for me, he's another person who's towards world class, right? Of course. And when you've got those players in your team, that can change the game. I'll doff my cap, even though we're talking about Man City, just quickly to Wilson Odobert, who came on for Spurs yesterday. And he actually looked like he's looking a little bit more positive, like taking players on, getting down the byline. But, if you want to have a look at someone and you're in that position, have a look at Doku, because I'll tell you what, he could be the blueprint. You mentioned Pep Guardiola and him improving quality players. It was his 1,000th managerial game today. Guardiola has won a remarkable 716 out of 1,000 games with Barcelona and their fourth-tier B team, Bayern Munich and Manchester City. Right, 716 wins, drawn 156, lost 128. His teams have scored 2,442 goals and conceded 813. Before we talk about where Pep stands in the all-time managerial list, let's hear from the great man himself, who spoke to talkSPORT about a huge milestone of 1,000 games.
I didn't see the Bambos inside. The people told me. Hopefully, I can watch it. I know. I just thank you. So, I feel I've been in love, since the day I arrived here, how the people take care of me, and all I can do is work hard and do my best. So always Man City, this club will be my home. It's something unique what I experienced in these 10 years, so it's the place I've been the most in these 1,000 games, most here. And of course there have been tough moments, but listen, in general, have been more joy than anything else. And yeah, now it's perfect. We have a rest a while and prepared the marathon that, with November, December, January, February is non-stop, and go for it.
That was the great man himself, Pep Guardiola, talking to talkSPORT about his milestone of 1,000 games. Now, I understand how brilliant he is as a manager. The questions I've always had is, you've been at Barcelona, Bayern Munich and Manchester City. Like, you've had access to a lot of cash to get the best players in.
Yeah.
If you was somewhere else, like you look at a Glasner, for example, who's at Crystal Palace, who's done amazing things with him. Is it fair to say that regardless of all the blessings he's had with those sides that he's had with players and access to funds, him just as a manager itself, it doesn't matter that he's got that money there?
But, one of the reasons he ended up as manager of Barcelona in the first place, he obviously took the B team for a while, was that, he had earned the right as a player and as a thinker to be in a position to be Barcelona B team manager, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, some people have just got it, and Pep had it, and he was never going to work at the level of like a team, I don't know, a mid-table team in the Premier League, because he's always had success, and he's brought success. So he earned the right as a player to be in a position, and then he improved on that. So he took Barcelona to somewhere else, and then he took Bayern Munich to somewhere else, and now, of course, at Manchester City, he's done the bulk of his work, and he's been absolutely incredible. And, it's hard to kind of put words next to his name, because he, to reach 1,000 games is some milestone, and to do it by winning, how many did you say? 760 odd games, was it? I mean, that must be some kind of record.
716.
Yeah, I wonder. I don't think even Sir Alex would have had that many wins after 1,000 games. I think Alex was about 1,400, wasn't he? I think in the end. But if you,
was that 71.6% win ratio?
Yeah, I mean, it's just off the scale. But I've always really liked him as a person. I don't think there's any part of me that thinks, I'm not sure about something he's done. He's always done it for the right reasons. He's always looking to improve his team, his players. He's always been very complimentary about people in this country, and he's been a great ambassador for Spain.
I've sometimes criticised him because he's so good.
Yeah.
Right? He's ruined football in this country because so many other teams want a Pep. They want someone with a philosophy, and they want someone to play
domination,
a certain way of football. But only Pep can play that football with his team because it's Pep, it's his philosophy, and he's got the players to do it, which is definitely, for me...
The big change that he made, definitely down to Pep, was the goalkeeper...
over in the back.
The whole distribution of the goalie. He changed that.
Well, the first thing he did at Manchester City was that, wasn't it?
In terms of what I'm talking about, the Premier League, I'm not talking about world football, I'm talking about in the Premier League, his utilisation of the goalkeeper changed the game.
Yeah.
Because, his goalie not only played out from the back, but he could hit it on the back of you from a standing start. He didn't even need a run-up, and he could hit it 75 yards. So, it was a...
Caught Spurs out a couple of times.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and that's just a minor thing on his CV. I'm so pleased he won today because it is a milestone that he deserved that, and to actually have a performance as great as well was a bonus for him.
Where does he sit in all-time list of managers then?
Yeah, well, obviously we talked about that, and I thought, how can you do a list? I mean, it's very, very difficult. I actually put it into two categories.
Okay.
I got the best manager, right? And I talk about managing a dressing room, getting the team out there, motivating the team, right? But best game changer of a coach, right? Like a coach who's been at the top of the game, who changed the game. Now, Pep's in both lists.
Yeah.
And that's why I think he's obviously possibly number one. But if I went to best manager, I would say Sir Alex.
Yeah.
I would have prime Jose Mourinho and Pep kind of toying for second and third. I'm talking about prime Jose, Chelsea Jose, really important.
Special one, early days.
Yeah. And then you got Ancelotti, you got people like Bill Shankly, Terry Venables, Bobby Robson. You'd have to give them a mention.
Whoa. I'm a Spurs fan, but where's Arsene Wenger?
Arsene Wenger.
Where does Wenger rate then?
Well, hold it. I ain't come to the game changer coach.
Okay.
Now, these are actually, I think, the list that's a little bit more difficult. Now, at the top of that list, and including Arsene Wenger, I've got Rinus Michels and Cruyff.
Yeah.
Who, through Total Football, and Michaels, he had the 88 Euro team, the Hullet team, he had the Ajax team, he went to Barcelona, he indoctrinated Total Football into Barcelona, which Cruyff picked up and took to another level. And I've got them as number one. And then I've got Pep and Arsene Wenger, because they have changed the game, particularly in the Premier League, more than anybody else.
Yeah, in terms of Premier League, I think you're absolutely right, because you can see the timeline of when Arsene came in, he really identified the foreign sort of philosophy of nutrition,
correct,
changing all of that kind of stuff, and we're saying it changed the game.
And also, when you talk about playing out from the back now, I mean, the Arsenal team, all these teams really played terrific football.
Yeah.
I mean, you can say a lot about Arsene Wenger in terms of, he didn't win this, didn't win that, and, he hasn't won as much as Pep or Jose, etc., etc. But his teams were really beautiful to see and watch.
Absolutely.
And as you say, he changed a lot on sports science, a lot of recovery time was learnt from Arsene Wenger. So, I mean, I've got to say, I got Pep and Arsene Wenger very much toying for that one. So when you put best manager and best game changer coach or whatever you want to call it, then Pep, is pretty much at second in both lists. So would that make him first? If you know what I mean.
I know, he's up there. And again, I think only time will tell, because as you mentioned, the likes of Cruyff, etc., and you mentioned Bill Shankly, etc., with history, and you just start looking back at what they achieved in comparison, then like the sort of value rises, doesn't it? Really. So we are living.
Yeah, but see, also, I'll have to give some other mentions because it hurt me not to say it because like Sir Alf Ramsey when we won the World Cup, the wingless wonders.
Yeah.
We had no wingers, so it was like two central wide players who played internally. So and Terry Venables, who was obviously one of the greats of England. So I have to give a little doff of the cap to Sir Bobby Robson, of course, to our own. But at the moment, when I'm looking at across those two lists, managing people, managing the dressing room, philosophy, changing the game, Pep's up there, number one.
Still to come, we're going to hand the baton over to Danny Kelly on Trans Europe Express. We will reveal who our mystery footballer is and we'll go through your WhatsApp messages. It's the final word here on talkSPORT. So this is song one, Chemical Brothers, Go. And this one, the 1986 World Cup song. And Chris Rea, driving home for Christmas. And the answer to this, did you get it, Park?
No, not a clue.
It was Brian Robson. Brian Robson. And Ross, what were the clues there? Why was this Brian Robson? Because Chris Rea is from Middlesbrough. The Chemical Brothers are from Manchester. And he captained the England team in 1986.
Well, I knew that bit, obviously, but I didn't realise it was... and I had to mark him a few times. And what a player he was.
Really?
Absolutely outstanding. Did anyone get it right?
I'm not sure. I got it. We got it right. He was alongside Steve Gibson at the Riverside yesterday watching the Middlesbrough beating Birmingham without Rob Edwards in the dugout. What a great Middlesbrough team he had as well. Right.
Oh, can I just do a little mention to Adi Vivesh, who took the team yesterday, an old colleague of mine, absolute legend. Well done, Adi.
Absolutely. On Saturday, it is Eubank Ben, part 2. You used it the last one. Did you know you didn't go to the last one?
I didn't go to the last one, but I had a message from Paul Ince, who said to me that his cousin, Nigel Ben, has got a strong feeling that Connor is going to smash the Eubank egg.
Oh, wow.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Connor's ready to go, mate.
It's revenge time. And I think joining us now in the studio is Chris Eubank Sr.
Well, I would put that to him that, I mean, obviously he won last time, his son, but Connor looks like the man this time.
Alan Pardew. I respect the fact you're an experienced Premier League manager, but the art and powers of boxing elude you. To think that my son, Christopher Jr., is going to lose to Conor Benn is just ridiculous. It's a statement with no intent. And if Paul Ince was a wonderful midfielder, I think so.
A wonderful midfielder who played with Brian Robson, by the way.
He played with Brian Robson, of course.
Yes, he did. Very good.
But he does have no idea of what the wrath the boy can do. Because he might lick him up.
Pardon?
Sorry, I just slipped into my mother's tongue of patois. You didn't realise that, did you?
Well, Paul could handle himself a little bit, so, I wouldn't advise you to threaten
Well, fight week starts Monday.
Okay.
And you will be hearing a lot of this on talkSPORT this week. And I'm sure Simon Jordan and Oliver Spence and the Catman himself.
Border dash he used this week.
Oh.
That's a nice word, isn't it?
It's a great word.
Border dash, I heard it.
He's the man who's got...
an old parlour game, by the way, from the 1950s.
A thesaurus as large as mine, because I'm quite versed in the words of the English dictionary.
Yes, I do believe you've had some time with Simon, actually.
Well, he's a wonderful man. Yeah, next Saturday, it's going off. Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
And he'll be there, because Chris did the old what's name. He turned up in the lastminute.com, didn't he?
Yeah, last time.
I think he'd do the whole thing this week.
Well, it's live on talkSPORT Saturday. There's also a watch along on the talkSPORT Boxing YouTube channel, which is hilarious. The comments are legendary. Gareth A. Davies is literally a cult figure in those comments. Big up to Gareth. Brilliant stuff. And I'm going to be there DJing pods.
Oh, are you? Okay, brilliant.
So I'll have a full report for you on Sunday.
Well, I shall look forward to it.
Yeah. That's all from us today, but the talkSPORT Breakfast Show is back tomorrow from 6 a.m. with Jeff Stelling. And is that Ishi Dishy?
Yeah, well.
Super Ali McCoy.
Yeah, Ali gets about, doesn't he?
I tell you, he liked my impression of him the other day.
Did he like it? Yeah.
He said, it's Ishi Dishy. And they will be joined by a very happy Everton manager, David Moyes, after the Mighty Toffees beat Pards to Fulham on Saturday.
Yeah, Fulham disappointing.
But if you want some music in the morning, the brilliant Chris Evans is over on Virgin Radio. But the Final Word returns next Sunday. But coming up next here, it's high class, isn't it? It's that time of the week.
Is it international time?
It's international time, and they do it well, don't they?
They're all over it.
Trans-Europe